Good afternoon, guys. I'm recording this intro after I've tested it out, just so I know what kind of mood to start with. And trust me, this vehicle will surprise you. From the moment the first vehicle appeared on the planet to the present day, nothing like this has ever existed before. Make yourself comfortable. Put your hand under your jaw. Brew something delicious and let's go. Let's go with 85. Let's go right 90. A lot of people are probably wondering why Wolfgang Egger drew this particular design. After all, he can sit down and draw the most beautiful car, right? And the thing is, they're fixated on this mask right here. Let's take a closer look. In the west of the country, they found a mask that is 5,000 years old. In 1998, it was designated by the State Council as a major cultural heritage object of national significance. As you realize, BYD Corporation is not just looking to build cars. They want every vehicle to be connected to Chinese culture. Here we go. The suspension was set up entirely differently than I anticipated. And I like it much more. I thought it would be incredibly soft, and because of that softness, being a business-class car, it would lose handling. But it turned out to be completely different. BMW i7 is softer than this car. This vehicle, as it absorbs deep potholes, is very similar to the M series. So it's slightly tighter and handles much better than the i7. Let's go 85. Let's turn right at 90. I can totally understand why it got such a crazy score on the Moose test. It's got a very well-tuned rear-wheel steering. Very well, I emphasize. I've never seen that before. How does it turn? It's unbelievable. I feel like my rear wheels are just going to the right. The front goes to the left, the wheels go to the right, and that's obvious. Everyone has known about that for a long time, that the rear wheels steer that way. But to have the wheels go so much to the right and the front to the left, it almost feels like a circular turning. I've never seen that in any car. It really surprised me. I have rear steering wheels in my i7 too, but it doesn't have that effect. The Mercedes EQS has a 10-degree thrust. There's not that effect there. 13 degrees was in the Hi-Fi Z. There wasn't that effect there. The Denza Z9 has a good turning angle, but it doesn't have that strong effect where it just feels like you're turning with the handbrake. So your butt just moves to the right. I haven't seen that in any car yet. Wow. Wow. The sensations are strange. It feels like it's not quite obeying you. So we have two versions. Hybrid, 2-liter turbo internal combustion engine with 250 horsepower, plus 1,300 horsepower from electric motors, with one motor per wheel, and a 52 kilowatt-hour battery. Pure electric version, just 4 electric motors, 1,300 horses, and a 135 kilowatt-hour battery. The hybrid is sequential, just like the Yangwang or U8. The engine doesn't push the car. Why I never measure acceleration to 100, and myself, when I watch reviews, I always skip this part. Let me explain. If the road is uneven, if there is a downhill or uphill slope, we will get completely different numbers. Of course, no one is going to run around measuring and showing you the level of the road. It should be shown 500 meters ahead. In addition to the fact that the numbers are distorted due to the downhill and uphill grades, it is also unclear who is driving and how he got a grip on the road surface. Yeah. A lot of people make fun of drag racers for pushing one button. They just push the pedal, but it's a little bit of a skill to hone too, and they have a very good feel for it. The numbers that car brands write in the passport are numbers they obtained on their professional test tracks, where the surface is perfectly smooth, where a professional demonstrated its potential, not how you did it, but how it can actually accelerate. And how about carbon ceramics for that price? Huh? Both front and back, 275 by 40. After I tested the U7 on this road, I decided to drive the BMW i7 on the same route, and it has more wobble. All these videos give you the false impression that you can't feel the bumps at all. No, you can feel the sounds. It's a little bit worse noise insulation than the i7. There's a wobble. Physically you feel it plus the sound, but you drive over them more smoothly. It wobbles less here than in the BMW 7 Series. The suspension is double wishbone at the front, multi-link at the rear, and here they have replaced the traditional hydraulic suspension with the suspension with electric motors. That is, in addition to the fact that there are 4 electric motors, 1 for each wheel, which push the car. There is 1 additional small electric motor for each wheel, which adjusts the stiffness and height of the suspension. Due to this, it works faster. And not only that, there's also regeneration. The suspension charges the battery, in addition to the electric motors. It's fucking awesome. Look what's interesting. The i7 wobbles more over deep potholes, but it's softer. However, on convex bumps, such as speed bumps, the U7 feels softer. Maybe it's because the LiDAR can see the convex bumps better than the portholes. What do you think? But that's very strange. Now pay attention. Both hybrids and electrics are the same price. The 4-seat version is $96,000. The 5-seater version, $87,000. And this is BYD, whose cars drive 500,000 kilometers in a cab 24 hours a day. And they look like they've been run in. The door opens like this. Now let's compare it to the i7. I've got a helper here. I'm standing right next to the mirror. And let's check it 4 times.
谢谢. Okay.
Why'd I ask for help? Because the zone is over there. You knock there. You can open it with your hand, of course, with a handle. But in general, I showed you how to open by knocking. I grabbed a towel because I know it fails sometimes. I'm standing in the same spot by the mirror. Fine. Why aren't you closing again? There's a button glitch too.
Bam.
Show it. Fine. Third go. All right. Fourth and final. Three of 4. Moderators tell me that lately there has been an increase in the number of comments saying that the Chinese are not up to the Germans in handling. Allegedly, they do not know how to make. They do not know how to adjust the suspension. These are fakes, of course, which are spread by those who are offended. Now there are a lot of offended people appeared, who are very offended, and they are vehemently proclaiming it. I'm not hitting on BMW right now. Absolutely not. I'm just saying the figures. Look at this. Yangwang U9 costs $200,000. It's not a prototype. This is a production Yangwang U9. Came to the Nürburgring. 4960 length, 2,900 wheelbase. Same dimensions as the BMW MCS. It did it in 7 minutes and 17 seconds. It's not like the M5 didn't achieve the same result. No other BMW has done as well. They've all done worse. M3, M4, even the M8. They've all done worse. That's why it's fakes. I am absolutely not a BMW hater. BMW is here. I'm just saying the numbers. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of offended people out there right now who are just furiously spreading fakes. However, to be fair, I must say that the Taycan, which is in the same body size, is exactly the same. The Taycan is 4963 and this one is 4966. They have the same wheelbase of 2900. It finished 10 seconds quicker. 7 minutes and 7 seconds. That is to say, to the result of Taycan, U9 10 seconds short. 100 years of history there, 3 years here, keep in mind. As for the pricing, $200,000 is a perfectly reasonable price, just like the Taycan. I believe the Taycan is even pricier. Look, my car just had a glitch. By the way, I frequently experience glitches here. This car is truly glitchy. And the second time I try to record, it fixes itself on the second attempt. And what bad luck. Look what happened. When I press the start button, my steering wheel hasn't lowered. The seat hasn't adjusted to my position, and the projector on the windshield hasn't turned on. I turned it off. Let's try again. It might work now. You can't even imagine how many of these videos I've made with this explanation. And then the second time, everything worked the way it was supposed to. I'm pressing the start button. Okay. I'm pressing the brake. Finally got a chance to show you this. Nothing worked. What if I press the seat memory now? See that? Everything's moving. And the projector turned on. That is, I sit down, start the car, and it doesn't activate my settings. This happens quite often. It's some kind of nonsense until I press the button. But sometimes it works. Let's check again to see if it works or not. Open the door, the steering wheel moves. Look, I'm getting out. The car is completely off, coming in again. Door is closed, pressing start button. And now it's moving. How is this happening? At that price? How can this be? The car has autopilot and auto parking. By the way, this driverless parking feature is gaining popularity in China. People just get out of the car and go home. In any case, everything is insured. Now, a couple things that I think they will have a hard time selling, at least in southern China. They showed in their commercials the obstacle course and how that fancy active suspension adjusts the ground clearance. So, I drove around for an hour and never found anything like this on the road where I could test it. We simply don't have anything like that here on public roads. This system makes no sense here. What you need to understand is that this is just a feature that accompanies the active suspension. That same suspension will be able to lift your side or butt when someone is about to drive into you. This same suspension shakes off snow. That same suspension simulates video game driving, so it's just a related feature. I didn't find any spot with 5 or 6 speed bumps in a row. Usually there's only one at the entrance or exit from various locations. Basically, it comes out that in our South, the gimmicks from these commercials just don't make sense. The only thing this suspension gives us is a smoother ride. When you accelerate and brake, you don't feel the front end going up or down. And you have less wobble, less roll in a corner. Long cushion, set it to maximum now. Very long cushion. I want to go all the way down, and this is the lowest position. It can be raised. I have 2 fingers in front of my knees. People much taller than me won't fit here. Keep that in mind. My friends, there are so many tricks inside that with such a powertrain, such a suspension, such brakes, and such interior trim, if this would be sold in Europe under some famous German brand, it would cost, I think, $700,000, if not more. Oh, I forgot to tell you, with this size of body, $700,000. Let's quickly go through this. So, look, all this scale, it's all carbon. Instead, it could be wood. It would be calmer without those Chinese dragons. It would be more peaceful. Honestly, I would choose wood for myself. This isn't my style, and I think you would agree with me. And the Chinese will overpay for carbon. The rest is all leather, everywhere you look. Absolutely everywhere. Even the column is wrapped in leather. I'll look for plastic. Well, this touch-sensitive area, where the fridge control and temperature are, is plastic. Well, there's more plastic around the edges. If you replace the side mirrors with a camera, you'll have screens instead of this plastic panels. Ah, here's a bit of plastic too. Alcantara ceiling of excellent quality. Pillars, floor, and even inside in the storage area. Let me show you now. Here is leather, here too. Leather again. This is all entirely leather. And here. This is plastic. This is aluminum. And here aluminum. Double glazing, 3,200 kilograms of curb weight. Sedan. All leather is Napa. Here we have carbon. See, scales is carbon. But the base model comes with wood. Carbon comes at an extra cost of 50,000 yuan. This package also includes additional carbon accents around the car, like this area below. Base has wood. This is plastic. This is the same level as the Yangwang U7. It's comparable to Bentley and similar luxury vehicles. Music by Evidence 23 speakers. They call it Evidence Platinum. I have a fridge here. Above the refrigerator, there's a small compartment. You can toss something in there. There are charging ports, and there's a cigarette lighter. USB and USB-C, 3 different charging ports. And there's also a cover like this. Vacuum, and there's a fridge in there. Nice. Here I control the temperature. This is what a Yangwang key looks like, the same as my U8. Metal, surgical steel. Here I have 2 cup holders. There's room for 2 wireless chargers, 50 watt, both left and right. Covered with Alcantara. Notice that the screen quality is exactly the same as in my U8. These screens are not super premium quality. Everything works well, quickly, not top tier. 7 out of 10 for picture quality. Everything works 10 out of 10. Everything flies, no question. They're saving money on screens. And look at the funny thing. Many car brands, most of them, order from third-party manufacturers. Lixiang, for example. BYD makes their own. They give as much of the car as possible for its cost, because they produce everything themselves, except for tires and glass. Thus, they manufacture these screens on their own. Of course, they aren't Huawei or Samsung, and they haven't perfected that. So they can't deliver top-notch quality. Now that's a cool feature. I don't want any buttons at all. I don't want any buttons. They are not as convenient as controlling the air temperature with your fingers. You use 3 fingers to control the climate. Look, there's different buttons, but it works as one button. It's cool, nice. German cars have this, by the way. That's interesting. Here, I can completely turn off the screen and I will have time. Both cameras can be closed. The mirror, which is the screen, sees what's behind. Ah, I see. Here, you can adjust the temperature. It's warm, not temperature, but warm light, cool light, and brightness can be adjusted. Here I have a case for glasses. Not only that, I can get this door ajar. Opened a bit. I'm moving out and steering wheel goes up. Good. I can do the following. I can also fully open it by pressing here. So, I ajar it here, and pressing here, it fully opens. Let's check for creaks. This rim right here is a little squeaky. There's a little bit. Look, U8 was like a stone in this pattern. Let's check up there. Something was there, but it's gone. There were moments, yes, but overall, it's fine. Let's check here. The steering wheel is slightly different from the U8. It's round in the center. All the buttons here are physical. This is where we turn the whole system on and off. Okay, the autopilot is controlled by the paddles here. We have the gear selector on the right. It's clear here. Electric steering wheel height and reach adjustment. The menu is exactly the same as in other Yangwang, very convenient. An empty button that can be assigned to something. Well, the steering wheel is moderately thick. I like it. Look how cute the speaker looks. Goes to sleep. I press this. Pressing the brake, it wakes up. Looks nice, right? Check out the seats. The headrest is electric. In the four-person version, the driver's seat has massage, ventilation, and heating. In the back, the same features. The passenger on the right has ventilation and heating but doesn't have massage. There you go. And the five-seat version, $9,000 cheaper, has massage, ventilation, heating everywhere. Well, that's how they decided. Apparently, no one rides in the four-seater version on the right front side. And, in principle, it makes sense. There is active side support. When I'm rolling and it inflates. Plus, you can just lock it in place and it will always be adjusted to the angle you want. In terms of finishing materials, it's more expensive leather than what I have in the i7. This is the level of Bentley. So smooth, really. I won't criticize the seat anatomy. The seat design is very good in i7, and here it's also very good. No questions at all. It's that level of seating where there's nothing to complain about. There's a sunroof that can be opened. It's raining. I won't open it, and there are two sunshades rear and front, and there are touch buttons here. Here is SOS button. Hotline connection. We're filming a review of the interior after I've tested it. Before we tested it, we purposely charged it 100%, and I drove it 18%, and I tested it for over 100 kilometers. 592 remains. Its range is about 700. And that's with me driving it quite fast. Let me show you the 7's display. Look, I've got 76% here and 410 kilometers. The BMW will go less. The battery here is 102 kilowatt. There's 135. Length 5260. Wheelbase 3160. Got the fist. Going to the back row. Let's see how much room there is in the back with this wheelbase. Two and a half fists. So, I sat in the back. And before I describe these luxury apartments, let's refresh and what a person riding in the back feels in motion. For ride softness, it's just like a Camry. Remember that the Camry isn't a stiff vehicle. In terms of handling, it's absolutely top-notch, but I don't know how it performs at very high speeds. Likely not top. In the city and up to 140, it's absolutely top. I haven't seen anything better in this body size. In this body size, I emphasize. More than 5.2 meters, if I'm not wrong. Regarding noise insulation, it's a bit above average. The suspension makes it so that unlike the S-Class, 7 Series, A8, where it is softer, you do not wobble like there. It's tighter here, but you ride smoother, more level. Now let's see what kind of apartments are here. Everything is just like in the front. Everything is covered in leather. This is exactly where there is no plastic at all, because all you see in silver is aluminum, and we have carbon here. This is my little display that rises up. I can also change its angle from this position. This is also leather, and I have another fridge here. You can put bottles here. Good, what's there? And they covered it even to the very end. Oh my God, how nice. Charging, 50 watts with airflow, all covered in Alcantara. One spot. Okay, just a moment. What I don't like is its location. What am I supposed to do? I still don't get anything. What's happening to me? Same here. Okay, well, it's the same thing over there. It's all made of leather and metal. Look, I can now. Or I can't. I can. I can close it. Got my screen up. On massages. Everywhere there is a massage with hot stones both butt and back. I have the headrest adjustable on my tablet too. There are no buttons to control it. Listen, I don't like something here. Why can't I get up? I don't want to sit like this. All right, look, I found a flaw. Yes, I can lie down. My seat has started to move. The backrest takes a more comfortable position, more angle, and I can rest very well. However, I want to move forward. I want to lift my backrest. And I can't lift it. I just can't. There's no adjustment here. In other words, I can't adjust the backrest on its own. And it's just really odd. Either I can't find it or it's a flaw, because I want to eat like this, for example, or work, and it turns out that I can only sit like this. And if I move the seat and sit more straight, yes, I sit more straight, but now I need to move the table closer. But maybe the table can be moved? No. No. The table is fixed. That's a flaw. Quite strange. I can control everything here. There's music, shades, windows, seats, everything. I also have buttons that I can use to open this window or that window. I found a piece of plastic. It's right here. What do we have here? The cup holders. And what's here? There's a 220 outlet. And here's another one. All right. They've got it all soft here. Same here. It's got 2 screens. Just like in U8, there's a camera. Just like the front, you can change the light to warm or cool and adjust the brightness. Same on the right side. I can either ajar the door and exit easily, or I can push a button and it will open all the way. The panel is identical to the front. Carbon. Everything else is Nappa. A bit of plastic, the rest is aluminum. Everything is padded underneath. Everything is covered here. There's a metal hook. There is some extra space underneath. It has a rubber mat to toss in some kind of bag. The 5-seater will just have a sofa. The seats have the same adjustments, more reclining position or more sitting position. There's massage, ventilation, and heating, but unfortunately only 2 zones, not 3. Look, there are odors under the console. There's not a lot of room under there, but you can see 3 odors over there. Yangwang scents are on a whole other level compared to gilevich.eng. It's an expensive perfume, but it'll cost more to recharge them too. In gilevich.eng, they are quite flavorful, but in my U8, it's just a different level of scent. 2 trunks. They don't know the volume, so let's compare like this, by eye. This is a U7's trunk. And this is the trunk of the i7. And I think there's more room here. Friends, thank you all for watching. The Huawei Maestro is next. I say goodbye. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. See you all again.